Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Off the Record with Kirk
and Gabe.
And no Judah. For the first time ever, it's me and him, but not Judah.
Yeah,
so
it felt really weird. I paused.
It really did, because it also always
Judah?
starts. It always starts with Judah. Whether it's you and Judah, you and me, you Judah and me, it always starts with Judah. So that's a little weird. But today we are finally at long last, and when the thing that nobody was waiting for and nobody wants, we are talking about Starfleet Academy episodes 7, 8, 9, and 10, as well as a quick overall thoughts on the season.
Yeah.
It should not be a surprise to hear that we overall didn't like it, but it may be a surprise to hear that there were maybe some things towards the end that were not the worst in the world.
Nope.
But again, overall, the show sucked. Yeah. So really quickly, I'm going to talk about episode 7 because it's the worst of the bunch for sure of these 4. And that is Cozine. The paramount little description of it is: during a school holiday, cadets return home and must choose between family expectations and dreams.
Yes, which apparently part of family expectations is legit marriage and then getting wed and then getting it annulled immediately afterwards.
Yeah, so, and then we also had the subplot, side plot, whatever you would call it, B plot, I guess, of Caleb and Genesis. Right, Genesis.
Yeah, they had their whole weird romantic thing.
Yeah, they were alone on the ship for a while because everybody else was back for break, and then there was that weird thing about she doesn't live up to the expectations of people, and so because of that, her recommendation letters she altered, and so she was trying to go and get them deleted from the thing because she was gonna go to captain's track, something like that, and it's just no one cares. I guess it was the most college drama, high school drama of the bunch so far, maybe, or close to it. But it was just.
But it wasn't compelling.
Nothing about it was.
I've watched college and teen drama things before that they're always cheesy and weird, but usually they're compelling. And I was just sitting there this is not compelling. Yeah. I didn't need this. I don't want it. So anyway, that episode was bad.
We did actually watch this one with Judah as the night it came out on that Wednesday, I believe it was.
Although I'm not sure he finished the episode.
I don't think any of us finished the episode.
No, we finished it.
I don't know. We were watching it, and we were just oh my gosh, this is the worst thing in the world. This episode made us stop recording on it. It is that bad.
Yeah.
So genuinely, please don't watch it.
Yeah, if you're going to watch the season, feel free to skip over episode 7.
I genuinely don't think there's anything important. Everything that they start, they undo in the same episode.
Yes.
It doesn't need to happen at all.
It's a filler episode, but they wanted it to feel not filler, but it still needed to be filler.
Yeah.
And you're just
truly horrible.
I would have rather just had the fun vacation episode.
Please, Gabe, let's move on to 8.
But episode 8, titled The Life of the Stars.
Yeah. The description for this one is: a visiting instructor uses unorthodox methods to help cadets process their emotions at the academy. Yeah. This is the Tilly episode. We were waiting. You haven't seen Discovery.
No, I have not seen Discovery.
Yes, so she's a character from Discovery. We were told that she was just going to be one of the instructors, one of the professors for the whole thing, but she only shows up in this one episode. So, first of all, points off for a lie. Yeah. We, I guess looking forward to it a little bit. I mean, I was kind of looking forward to it because Reno was good. Reno gets better, amazing. By the way, as we go through. Reno gets so much better by the end of the season.
Still my favorite character in this series.
And so because of that, I was oh, well, if they kind of maybe if they're similar with Tilly as they have been with Reno, as a character from something else that they're bringing in, okay, this could be good.
I mean, she wasn't, I'll be honest, she wasn't terrible.
She was not personally terrible. They put her in a horrible role at the Academy of just the theater
guidance counselor.
It was,
but weird. It was weird.
Yeah, and the premise of it was because of the whole who was it? Not Genesis, the other love interest, the Bajoran girl, Bajoran.
No, she's
I don't care.
The empaths.
Yeah, they put up the Beta Z. Thank you.
We've got
Beta
it.
Z. The Beta Z.
We know what we're talking about. I promise.
Even if we kind of don't want to be with this stuff. But the Beta Z girl, whose name I'm forgetting because it's been a while now, is still everybody's dealing with when she mind killed all the pirate people, and it's but she was the hero in that situation. She's not a monster in that situation. She's the hero because she saved everybody with this really cool ability that she has. And so this is the episode of like, oh, but everyone's dealing with the trauma from that. But it's like, shouldn't be at all. It doesn't make sense. Even people who are like the biggest supporters, like Trek culture of this show, like they will bend over backwards to find ways to say that this is actually good when it's objectively garbage. But even they were like, but she was the hero.
Yeah.
Like, so that should tell you something.
I understand having trauma. And for dealing with trauma, this episode did it in a very interesting, very accurate to canon, I would say.
Yeah.
Albeit not the most entertaining way.
Yeah. It could have been a good idea.
The issue for me was that it, like Kirk said, it didn't line up with what actually happened. Like, if it was just normal trauma, not the I'm a horrible monster. Like, that's just stop.
And that kind of thing does certainly fit for like a high school college drama show. Like, we're not saying like, oh, we just hate that kind of thing, because it could fit in that kind of a place. But then it's just done so horrible.
I would say if like some of their friends had gotten injured, or her friends had
if she had accidentally hurt somebody else or whatever.
Like, even if they didn't die or it was quickly healed so it didn't mess with the plot.
Or if they focused more on the trauma of that one Vulcan guy from the War Academy that did die.
Right.
And there was the whole... And the B plot of the episode is also the Sam, the hologram girl, that she was injured from that. And we'll get to that in a minute because it was the better part of this episode, at least in my opinion.
I think our opinions differ.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. But, she's injured, quote unquote, from that.
Yes.
As well as somebody else was injured. Yeah. I forget exactly. But there was that more side of it if they took it in that direction rather than it being about.
Into it and it would have been better.
Yeah, but they were just saying like, oh, it's because this girl's a monster. It's like, but no. So that was horrible. B plot of the episode, last 15 or so minutes, was the doctor, Sam, and the Chancellor, all went to the hologram species space. Yes. I don't remember what they're called. But they go over there and they're like, okay, we can't fix Sam, so let's try to get them to fix her. And then they're looking at her and they're just like, oh, what took us 500 years to build or whatever it was, you destroyed in 180 days or whatever. And so we're not going to be able...
filthy humans.
Yeah. So we're not going to be able to fix this. Like, we've looked and we can't fix this. But then at some point through this whole process, the doctor realizes, alongside Ake, that, wait, no, it's because she's a teenager and she's dealing with the kind of emotions and traumas and just the life of being a teenager, which is crazy for sure, but she's like 9 months old. Like, she doesn't have the years and years of just life experience to be able to process these kinds of things.
Right.
And also kind of keeping in tune with the kind of therapy side of things. It was more interesting. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily, in the episode as I was watching it, I kind of didn't care. I did like the doctor, and I did like, it was a sweet sequence at the end with the doctor and Sam, like, father and daughter type. It was sweet. I think that's a good message of just like, parenthood. It's awesome. But other than that, like, just totally standalone in the episode, I didn't care as much about it. But going into episode 9 is where I was a little bit more interested. With the results of that, which I think it would have been better if they got rid of most of episode 8, certainly refocused it onto the things that we were talking about and how that could have been better. If that were the B plot of the episode, the A plot was this, and then going in maybe a little bit more into the episode 9 territory of like, okay, now that they are actually, like, she calls him dad and everything, the doctor, now that they are in this familial relationship, let's have some time with that in the episode. But they didn't do that, and it does fall flat in that sense.
I think that could have made it a bit better, although I still disagree. I prefer the A plot to the B plot. But part of that is just because for this episode, and honestly for most of them, I had to kind of take a back seat on the standard enjoying of watching something and start analyzing it more. From a very creative perspective, episode 8 is actually really cool. Like, they create, I'm pretty sure, their own unique play for this, because I don't...
No, actually.
No, is it used from something?
It's a real play.
Use? Really, that's a
but
weird
nobody
play.
knows what it is.
Okay,
and so that's a serious problem. But I know why you're saying, like, oh, they created this new thing.
Because nobody was... Well, still, so like that's still creative, though, is being able to take something
and
that
Star
exists
Trek and plays.
Adapt it. And Star Trek and plays is a regular use thing.
Yeah.
They did a very good job of folding the A and B plots both into the play in a very creative way that I thought was spectacularly done. Like, from a creative standpoint, amazing.
And even trying to tie it into the broader canon of Star Trek, saying like, okay, like think Patrick Stewart, Picard, like if that character could be described by anything, it's by like Shakespeare. Right. By plays. Yeah. By like this old tradition of just like everybody's gonna sit together and watch somebody act something out. Right. Like that is Star Trek to its core. And they actually do tie it in and do that. And I respect that they're not just trying to completely get rid of everything. Right. By doing whatever they want. Like they are still trying to like keep this continuity together. But execution.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
From the creative side, amazing. Like 10 out of 10, 5 stars.
That's a massive problem I have with 300 Night.
The execution is just, it's so missing. And so I would still recommend watching episode 8 if you have time.
Yeah. Certainly in as much as it ties into 9 and 10.
Definitely because it ties into 9 and 10, but also just, be aware as you're watching it. Like, focus on examining the creative heart behind it. Because I think that's what's admirable about it, not the, production and cast side of actually doing it, because that's a sham.
Yeah, the execution is a massive problem with this show.
Move on to 9 and 10.
Yeah, well, especially because execution is kind of a problem with 9 as well, though less of a problem, but still a problem. So 300 Night is the title. The description on Paramount, again, is, as the year ends, Caleb must choose between his old dreams and his new life at Starfleet Academy. And so in this episode, the biggest thing that happens is first of all, this is the episode where they go outside of Federation space, right? They're going to this planet, which the new thing in Star Trek is, instead of like getting out of, quarries and green screens, we're getting into like these weird shanty towns on mountains. Like it's the new thing in Star Trek. And so they're kind of this marketplace town area that they are going to. First, it's just some of the cadets. And then it's following them when they eventually realize it is the Athena with skeleton crew to come chase after them, because Caleb, we're finally getting into his mother situation.
Right. But the big thing that's it's technically B plot for this episode, but it's really important for 10, is we find out what all Braka stole.
Yeah.
That, what was it, episode 6, I think? In the whole big deal where Beta Z Girl was a quote-unquote monster.
It's episode 6, Come Let's Away, is where that happened.
Find out that what he stole wasn't actually, doing just basic weapons in there. He found this, what was it, Omega 47?
It was either 47 or 37. I don't remember exactly. But do you know what the lore of the Omega particle is in Star Trek?
I don't know the full lore, but I know isn't the original Omega, isn't it Omega 46? And then this one's like a...
I believe it's...
replica.
Previously it's just called Omega, right? This is something that, first of all, so I have read the volume 1 of Star Trek Lower Decks comic. I bought it over spring break, and I read it, and it was really good. And
I also read it.
You just finished reading it. I gave it to Gabe as well, and he was
I've encountered Omega 47.
Yes, and so, just Omega.
Or Omega.
The Omega particle
and Omega 47.
is referenced in that, and I think that it was really funny. They had like a thing was happening, and they were like, give us ideas, and then somebody was like, oh, we could use Omega to whatever, and then Chief Billups was like, great idea, but no one's supposed to know that exists, so I need everyone to forget it for me. And then Rutherford or somebody was like, can do. It was. We're gonna cover that comic eventually. Once Judah finally catches up on that show, we will. But something behind that is the Omega particle, which I believe was originally set up in Voyager, and they explained to us.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So we had a situation of, okay, we are in the Delta Quadrant, all that. We're getting home. We're flying by this place, and the ship scans around it, and just naturally speaking, and it has detected an Omega particle. It shuts everything down and alerts the captain, and no one on the ship but a captain is even allowed to know that Omega exists. And the Omega directive suspends and supersedes all other directives, including the Prime Directive. You have to... captains are ordered to do whatever means necessary to get rid of the Omega particle. Literally whatever means necessary. Mm-hmm. Like, Sisko would love this. He would be able to genocide so many planets if he were sent out to just get rid of this stuff.
Wow.
But legit, like, it is that bad. And they explain Starfleet scientists, which, by the way, the Borg also have a thing with Omega, and they also agreed that this is extremely dangerous and needs to be gotten rid of. So that should tell you something.
Hey, guys, the Borgs are actually pretty smart.
Yeah, hey, if the Borg are agreeing with you on something, there's a problem.
Yep.
And Omega is a problem. They explain that there was this outpost that they were testing Omega particles on, and even just a single particle exploded, and it, first of all, wiped out the entire station. It also wiped out everything in any sort of vicinity to the station, and it destroyed subspace for like 5 light years or something in either direction. Meaning nobody can fly their ships except sub-warp in that bubble of space. And so Starfleet created this protocol of like, okay, if enough of these particles, I think they said if like a handful, meaning not like literally a handful, but like a couple dozen particles of Omega were strung together and they exploded, they would destroy subspace in the entire galaxy.
Right.
So no one in the Milky Way galaxy would be able to get anywhere, really. Which is a problem because it's established as well that most other forms of travel that they found, including they do say that the spore drive, as a reason for why Discovery won't show up later, even the spore drive does connect with subspace in that way. And so it would stop the Romulans, not that they're really a thing anymore, they're Navarre with the Vulcans now, but it would stop their singularity drives, it would stop the spore drive, it said, it would stop regular warp travel, it would stop slipstream, it would stop everything.
Yeah.
And so it's a problem. And so they're like, yeah, we cannot let anyone ever deal with this. And so in Voyager, it was this planet, they were basically like, it was their nuclear power, and they were at that time.
Oh, yeah, I remember that episode.
Yeah, and so they went down, and I believe it was like on their moon or something like that, and they had to destroy it. And in the show, they did tell like the rest of the bridge crew, essentially, because there was nobody else out there to help out Janeway with that. But yeah, so crazy stuff. And it's crazy that they were actually experimenting with it to upgrade it and make Omega 47.
Yeah, that's what I wish they had given us a bit more lore, and I know it's the cheesy...
It is easy to explain it when you know everything going around in Starfleet, but they don't explain it in the show, and that's a problem. The in-universe explanation is most likely, okay, guys, we have a problem. The burn happened. It was crazy. Not only did it destroy all our ships, and we should probably find a new way to fly everywhere because we don't want that to happen again, but also it destroyed, if you remember, Kronos is gone.
Right.
It destroyed Kronos because they used dilithium reactors on planets to create energy, right? Like their version of a nuclear reactor. And so like, okay, that destroyed all of Kronos. Blew up so many other places as well. I guess we're not told it destroyed any other planets, but it at least blew up places on a lot of planets because everyone was doing that. So we need to find a new thing. And so they're probably trying to use it as a power source power source rather than as a weapon. Though potentially also, the Section 31 side of Starfleet, they're always doing stuff in the background, right?
That's true.
So the thread of this episode is Noose stole that and collected it all together into these mines, and if the Federation, first of all, he set up a thing where he blew one of them up so that the Federation would all retreat to within its borders, and then they mined the borders, and then there's a cool visual of it. And what's
crazy to me is that there were enough particles of this for him to, as we find out, mine the entire border. Three-dimensional border of the Federation.
I have a massive shout out to make.
Closely together that you, from our scenes, could see more than like 10 on the screen at any point in time.
Yeah. So I have a massive, massive, massive shout out to give to Certifiably In-Game. He did the math on this. He looked, okay, where was the peak of the Federation territory? Okay, and we know that these things have happened because in Discovery they explored that, the Federation's not here anymore, and it's not here anymore, and okay, now it is here, and like tried to find a very reasonable shifting of the Federation borders, and it was very much a contraction of them too.
Yeah.
And okay, so here's where the Federation is. It's basically this core area over here, yada yada. Okay, let's do the math. Okay, I don't remember if it was 5 light years or 50 light years or whatever it was, but he did the math on the sphere, the spherical explosion pattern, as well as obviously this shell that they have to make around the Federation space to say how many mines would it need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Take a guess.
Oh, it'd be so many mines.
It's
got to be like at least 100,000 mines. And that's like very
cut off
low.
3 zeros.
Oh, okay, really?
It's like 400 or 500, I think.
Oh, really? Only 500 mines?
Something like that. It may have been like 5,000 or something like that. But it's like a shockingly low amount. I don't remember exactly what he said, but like feasible. Very feasible. They need to explain that in the episode.
Yes. Well, the issue is...
It's not that hard.
They did the opposite of that in the episode, because if you look at all of the images of...
Yeah.
They
had the one zoomed out view, which, first of all, just the visuals of it.
It was sick, but you could see so many mines that I was like, there's at least like 100 mines just in this zoomed out view.
Yeah.
That it's like...
So I think that zoomed out view was supposed to be like most of Federation space.
Oh, okay. It was supposed to be most... That makes sense.
Right, yeah. So it makes it make more sense. But they're not giving good scale. They're not explaining anything or anything like that. I got into an argument. A guy made a really funny video, a smaller creator. I'm forgetting right now who it is, but on Instagram. And it's a really funny video. But I commented on it. And I was like, well, it was a great idea, but it was horribly executed. And then, he disagreed. And then I explained a little bit more. And he's like, okay, that's fine. He just liked my... comment. But then a bunch of other people were commenting under me saying like, it's a horrible idea because it doesn't make sense and it can't be possible and we'd need millions of mines and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, the problem still is, even if it did need millions, the problem is the setup, not the exit. It is the execution because the setup's horrible. The idea is good.
Yes.
The execution and the setup were non-existent. Right? That's the problem. And then now with this video from Certifiably In-Game saying like, well, it's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
Again, it could have just been set up well, right? But they just don't do that. So I agree with everybody saying like, oh, horrible episode, horrible show, yada, yada. They don't know what they're doing because they don't know what they're doing because it doesn't take that much to actually set up this really good idea. It doesn't take that much to set it up well. And they just don't because they don't care, honestly.
Yeah. But, I mean, I think it was overall, like you said, they had the beginnings of that idea and... Really, that was technically the B plot to this episode. And the only reason we're talking about it is because it becomes the A plot
of the next episode. And it was a better part of this episode.
And, yeah, it probably was. Well, minus any scene Reno was in.
Yes, okay, so Reno proves herself in this and the next episode, as well as we finally do get Caleb Muir's mother.
She does a pretty good job.
Yeah, and Tatiana Maslany, a good actor. It's really sad that she goes from being in one of the worst shows ever of Starfleet Academy to one of the best shows ever as Alan's wife in Invincible or girlfriend or whatever in Invincible. Like, it's so sad that same actress, 2 different shows, and it's just like such a difference. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But she does well with this. And it's like, I'm kind of shocked at it too because She-Hulk, I was like, I don't like this actress at all. No, the problem was She-Hulk. The problem was not Tatiana Maslany.
And like, she single-handedly, I think, was a large portion of why episode 9 and 10 were actually engaging for me.
Yeah.
Like, if the entire... I'll put it this way. If the entire season were to the same quality of episode 9 and 10, I would probably have given it 3.5 stars and been like, this was a decent show.
Yeah.
Not great, but decent.
Yeah.
For sure. Unfortunately, that's only 9 and 10.
So, Tatiana Maslany, person who plays Reno,
wonderful,
and Paul Giamatti are, and Holly Hunter are kind of like standout actors and actresses in this show. But yes, we did get a lot of good Doctor and Reno moments in here. And it does set up...
Sam improved a lot.
Yes, because of all that stuff that was happening, Sam improved a lot. She's kind of a different character because she is a different person, and they actually do touch on that in episode 10 as well. Which, let's quickly get into that because we're at 25 minutes. And I told Gabe before this that if we talk for more than 25 minutes about this, then there's a problem.
Well, we did.
Maybe I underestimated. Yeah, I underestimated the Omega stuff. But episode 10 is called Reuben Khan, and that is not a typo or a misspelling. Obviously, a play on Rubicon, because the whole episode is crossing the Rubicon. But then also, it's because of the Doctor later, and like speech stuff is weird, and so he's like trying to like, all that. But basically, the main part of the episode is just about News Braka's putting the Federation on trial. Holly Hunter's Captain Ake, Chancellor Ake, is the defense in this case, essentially, but really the person being put on trial as proxy for the Federation. And as terms of judge, jury, and executioner, that would be Mir's...
Judge is Miss Mir. Jury is Miss Mir. Executioner is Braka and the rest of the non-aligned worlds.
True, yes, that is true.
Although, if we're honest, judge and jury are also still probably Braka.
Realistically, yeah.
But
regardless, it was really interesting.
It was.
I did actually like this episode. Not perfect, not even close to perfect. It suffers from a lot of different problems, a lot of the problems that it's been suffering with all season, as well as it just being totally dragged down by the entire rest of the show. But overall, actually, this episode is like 7.5, 7.25, something like that. But like
full Madman Braka on like unleashed, which is great because he plays it so well.
And Tatiana Maslany again,
amazing.
The acting is great. Like she's just an angry mom, and
but also like,
we get some more reasoning. That actually is like we had said before early on in episode 1 that it was kind of problematic, the whole. Separating her from her child and throwing them in prison and all that was because she was more being strung along by Braka, and then this guy happened to die in the crossfire, essentially, of this whole thing that was going on with the shuttle. But, like, she wasn't trying to do it, and, you know, it was really all Braka's fault.
Because we were given it from Caleb's point of view.
But we actually learn a little bit more now that, like, she was kind of going in ready to have this guy die. Essentially.
Like, she knew that if things went wrong, people would be killed type of deal.
And that it was just okay
with it.
Yeah.
And
so it's very problematic.
I think she was even asked, like, if there was direct remorse over that. Or something similar.
Yeah.
That implied no.
Yeah. And so, you know, good to know all that. It definitely changes some of what I thought before, which was like, oh, you know, maybe it's not quite fair to give her such a punishment when she's being more dragged along. It's like, this is a lot closer to murder. I would say that this is very much a life in prison type thing.
Yeah. Which is basically what she got.
Yeah. And so that's why I don't like now. It actually ruins Ake in this for me in a lot of ways because, like, why is she throwing up a big fight about this? Like, this was murder. Yeah. She murdered a Starfleet officer and she knew what she was doing. Yeah, I know you don't want parents to be separated from children, but you do want criminals to be separated from children. Right. And sometimes parents are criminals. And the latter is much more important than the former.
Right.
And so it's just straight up full-on morally wrong. Completely wrong for Ake to be like protesting that. It's like, no.
Especially because we weren't given any indication that Mir's mom or Caleb's mom had remorse or change of heart or a change of ways or any form of change during the trial. Like, it makes sense in this episode because she does reach that point of change and she's lived, you know, long enough, and she now is like, okay, I don't actually want to kill people. I never, like, super wanted to kill people, but I don't anymore, and I just want Caleb to be happy. Now, like, I'm that's why I'm okay with the fact that she's not put back in prison.
Yeah, I am too.
You know,
actually.
is because she's very repentant and she comes to terms. But the issue is the fighting on Akke's part happened before any of that was known to Akke.
Yeah.
But also it's just Star Trek being Star Trek.
Yeah. So that side of things is a little unfortunate. I do love the part of the episode that was like, okay, we have Braka, and he's like, after the burn, the Federation just wasn't helping people anymore, and my planet needed help, and we would see your ships flying by all the time going to help other people, but you never helped us. So my dad sent up a ship to try to just get some help, or it was like a mortar to take down a ship to get some supplies or something like that.
Yeah.
And in response, the Federation burned the sky.
Like rained down. It was like red.
Rain hellfire.
From the skies on the planet.
But then when Caleb shows up a little bit later, we learn that actually it was essentially like the chemical in the rocket or whatever it was that was that his dad had sent up would ignite with their mining colony, essentially.
Right, because their mining colony naturally produced basically
a flammable gas, essentially.
A flammable gas in our terms.
Yeah.
That specifically the rocket of specifically the weapon that his dad sent up
is what started.
That specifically reacts with the gas.
And he just cannot accept that, of
and
course.
So it's his dad actually
and so he just starts saying, no, you're liars, the Federation are liars, and he's looking around to the crowd of people saying these are the people who are saying that they're all high and mighty and they're the greatest and everything else, and they're just liars. But then Akke is like, you see this guy? He's basically just a petulant child, and he can't come to terms with reality. Is this who you want to lead you into the new future of the galaxy? And then slowly they all just start leaving the conference call, essentially, the holo call. And he sees that he's starting to lose support. And so he kind of loses it.
Sorry, my bad. I'm in the wrong Slack video. Let me switch over.
Yeah. So, that kind of stuff is good.
And it was really well done.
Yeah.
Acting-wise.
Overall,
good tension.
The last little bit of this series made me almost want another season.
Yes.
I still don't want another season. We're still going to get another season.
Yes.
But great news, everyone. It was canceled. They're not going to make any more. Although there is a petition of 10,000 people.
Is it officially canceled?
It is done. Yeah. There's a petition that has 10,000 signatures to renew it for a third season. If somebody started a petition to make sure it doesn't get renewed for a third season, I'm sure it would be at 1 million, so fast. So do not be expecting a third season.
Yeah.
But they've done everything except probably post-processing on season 2, so they will release that.
Yes. Which, if they learned, which they probably won't because they recorded it before release.
Exactly.
But if somehow they learned and changed things enough that the rest...
They could edit it in such a way.
The entirety of season 2 is about the same level as 9 and 10.
Yeah.
I would actually want that season.
Yeah.
I would want that show. And I wouldn't be disappointed if that was the show. Again, this idealistic hypothetical universe show. I wouldn't hate if we got a third season of that. However,
I do want more exploration.
Do I think that would happen? Absolutely not.
No.
So I'm happy with just 2 seasons.
I do want some more exploration, though, of kind of post-burn, far future Federation. I think that's really cool. Rebuilding Federation, I think that's really cool. I also do want to see some stuff kind of what was the Federation like during the burn? Or even not even Federation. Just straight up say oh yeah, this one, we could just follow some random ship that's dealing with whatever it's dealing with in a post-Federation society, essentially. That would be really cool.
You can even do a pre-burn Voyager style thing post-burn where it's not it's technically a Federation ship, but because of the burn, they're stuck.
Yeah.
And they're at basically
so in Discovery, there's a
still need to watch
installation that this one guy is the grandson of a Federation officer.
Mm-hmm.
And he is still keeping watch at a relay station of some kind, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort of outpost of the Federation. And the Discovery actually finds him there. And he's the only one there. And he gets a field commission and all that. It's actually very sweet. Definitely a highlight part of that show. But there, it is established that you can be Federation and be out there and just stranded.
Yeah.
for a long time.
That's what I'm saying.
For 3 generations.
You could have a starship that gets a season or 2. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Because then it's not, we have to cross crazy amounts of Delta Quadrant. It's like,
and we could even still have, we could bring Ake back, right?
Yeah.
She's alive for all of this. The Doctor could still be part of this. Some of the better parts of the show, you can still try to weave in if you really wanted to, right? And then also there's so much stuff pre-burn, right? The temporal Cold Wars happened before the burn, and they were fully wrapped up by the time of the burn. And now time travel is illegal, which is why we're not seeing any of that stuff here. Well, with the exception of technically Danvers, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Something like that from Enterprise. Was it Danvers? Is a guy who I will not name in Discovery, and he's still kind of around, and he's like a time travel guy. But basically speaking, and it's like Section 31. Yeah. But basically speaking, that's all wrapped up by then. But we could have an exploration of temporal Cold Wars more from the future, the 28th century side of things, rather than the when we're dealing with Archer and when we're dealing with Janeway and all that stuff. Or we could even see we haven't got anything really in 26th, 25th, 27th, 28th, 29th. All of that stuff, it's just we did a time jump with Discovery to 31st century. And it's
there's been time jumps before. It's just like you've got in the Lower Decks comics, it addresses a time jump between, Pike and Kirk and
it's
all of them.
It's called the Lost Era.
And, the
so
Lost Era.
we also need exploration of that. Technically, Section 31 happens in that, but we're going to forget that it ever exists. We're still going to make a video on it, probably, just to full-on mock it. That thing is horrible, but technically it takes place during the Lost Era. But yeah, that's another place.
It's the Incredible Hulk of our Star Trek universe.
Yeah.
We pretend it doesn't exist.
They could so easily just say, okay, we're going to set something in one of these eras that we haven't discovered yet or explored yet. And people would eat that up. But they have to actually do it well. Right? Yeah. Because technically this is in an era that we haven't had yet, because it's after Discovery. But, they're not doing it well. Yeah. So, they
it's
also
just
need
teen
to...
drama,
True. They just need to kind of fix a lot of things. But overall, really quickly, we're nearly at the 40-minute mark when I thought that this would not be more than 25. Some things will be cut. But
our bad.
Really quickly, what is your overall season ranking out of 10?
Oh, gosh. Overall, that's rough. Because...
Remembering, 0 is the show doesn't even exist. 10 is this is the greatest thing ever, and 5 is literally middling.
Yes. I have to give it 4 out of 10. I have to give it 4.
Okay, that's higher than me.
It's the teen drama aspect of it, because that's, if we're honest, what this show is actually, it's a teen drama. It lives up to its name. Yes. And if we were just rating the teen drama, I would give it a 5.5, because it's basically your average teen drama.
Yeah.
It's the fact that it's also Star Trek.
And they're trying to have it kind of be like that.
And it's I can't justify giving it any higher than 4 stars, and that was painful to give already. And I'm only giving it because it's more teen drama than it is Star Trek, if we're honest.
Well, I freaking hate this. 3.5. The last 3 episodes are better. The last 2 episodes are quite good.
Beautiful.
But just, gosh, this show sucks. What are the highlights of this for me personally, right? We had I said the first 20 minutes of the first episode, okay. Then the rest of it, Episode 2, I kind of don't care. Episode 3 was a little bit more interesting. I mean, the prank stuff that was going on, some of that was kind of funny. But other than that, meh. Episode 4,
cool lore drop.
Yeah, lore wise, really interesting, and I like the idea, and I like the kind of getting a little bit back with that episode. As we said, I may have titled the video something a little bit provocative of this is what Star Trek's meant to be like. If you actually watch the video, you realize... He
was punished by that ruthlessly. Well, it was hilarious, and I laughed at him for it.
Yeah, but also we got 500 views, so...
That's true.
Who's laughing now?
Still me, and still at you.
Well, thanks, but I'm also laughing. But what was good, what is Star Trek is kind of these moral dilemmas.
Yeah.
And they explored one, and it wasn't the worst either.
Yeah.
And they didn't actually like they weren't actually horrible in what their resolution was for that either. So that was better. Episode 5, I do not care. Episode 6, more interesting. Braka being totally unhinged. We talked about that.
I love him being unhinged.
Yeah, and then you've heard our thoughts for the rest of it. It's just,
Here, I'll give my highlights real quick. One, I liked about half of it. I think it was the opposite half that Kirk liked, which is funny. And I forget if we talked about that.
You were looking a lot more for that teen side.
2, I actually really liked episode 2, if I'm honest. And 3 was pretty good. 4 was...
I get more mad about episode 2 every day that passes because that's when they make Beta Z the capital of the Federation.
Okay, that's fair.
Human supremacy, people. Come on.
Anyway, I will say, from a Star Trek perspective, that's stupid. But I'm just going to ignore that because what the A plot of that episode was actually engaging for me.
I did kind of like the debate stuff that was happening.
Episode 4, aside from the Klingon whole lore drop, I just didn't like that one. 5 was bad. 6 was mid. 7 was bad. 8, 9, and 10 were pretty good. So that's my highlights.
And 9 and 10 better than 8.
9 and 10 better than...
Yeah.
Well, better than 8, And then Reno, obviously, best
Highlight
character in the whole thing. If you were to just only clip scenes where Reno speaks... probably easy 9.5 out of 10.
Okay, some people are saying that they hate that Star Trek is doing this. I love that Star Trek is doing this, and that's every captain has to have their own way of saying engage.
Yeah, I should say it shouldn't have to, but it's fun.
It's fun. It's so fun, right? So obviously there's the Picard engage, right?
Engage.
It's just trendsetter, right? And then we have do you remember Archers?
Oh gosh, no, I don't remember Archers.
No. He probably just said like let's go or something like that.
Something dumb.
Then you got I want the ship to go now was
Speedy
Spock.
Speed. Yeah.
Spock was great in that episode.
That was beautiful.
It was episode 2 of season 2 of Strange New Worlds. I would like the ship to go now. Good. That's beautiful. Poetry.
You got
Reno.
Pikes.
Well, Pike, yeah.
Oh gosh, it's been a while. What was his?
I don't remember.
Never mind.
I don't remember. There's
but there's plenty. Of
yes.
Janeway had one. Did Cisco have one? He didn't really do much ship stuff.
That's true. I don't remember.
If you know if Cisco had an engage, tell us in the comments.
Burnham had Let's Fly.
Let's Fly.
Which
is
actually
cool.
Interesting. What I really like though was this one. We got Reno's. She says, "Show me pretty streaks of light."
Yes.
I love it. It is perfect. It fits her character perfectly. Yeah. There could not be a better way of saying that for her character. Genuinely, I love it. Highlight of the show, that scene.
Yes. Show me pretty streaks of light.
It's perfect. It is perfect. I love it. I need this to be in every show, just a running gag.
That's her character. She's like, I don't know. She's like if Vulcans weren't Vulcan. You know what I mean?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, but
and
anyway.
I like it.
Oh, and I will say one other negative thing was when we finally got Genesis Live's moment of being in the captain's seat, and she sits down and she's like, "Wait, I think I have to pee." So, okay, thank you so much for ruining the moment with that writing. It's like you've set this up all season long, and this is a big moment, and it's it just shows that you kind of don't care about your show.
Yeah, I get it was supposed to be funny, but first off, this is a teen drama, not a show for 10-year-olds. 10-year-olds will laugh at potty jokes.
Yeah.
Some older people will, and I probably would have if it was more funny.
Yeah. Well, and if it wasn't this is the show has been building up to that.
Yeah. Or at least her character has, which not that I cared about her character in the first place.
No, but it's it's straight up disrespectful, honestly. So
in that case, since it was disrespecting a character I didn't care for, I don't mind it so much anymore.
I guess that's fair. But anyway, this has gone on for way too long. Yes. Way more than the show deserves, for sure. Because the show deserves nothing. Well, some parts of this show deserve a little bit of talk. But other than that, nothing. So, we are going to wrap this up now.
Yes.
I'm going to do a drink shout-out since... Oh yeah, I don't care. This is going into the Monday slot, which Sunday and Monday.
Now.
Sunday and Monday, nobody cares, and we put them
and maybe
here
subscribe
when we want them to die.
And check out other videos, because I promise you, one, if you made it this far into the video, what's wrong with you? But also, wow, you're amazing. I don't know how you sat through that. But I promise you, our other videos are actually a lot better because they cover better topics.
Yeah, well, if you are currently drinking Andorian whiskey, how can I have some?
Is it good?
Is it good? And do any of you have any recipes for making an IRL Andorian whiskey? Please let me know. And if any of you are drinking a version of that, that is the shout out. Massive shout out to you. Good morning, good evening, and good night. God bless.
God bless.